All right, so we know about how chalky this Sweet 16 is. That makes it interesting to rank these 16 teams. I mean, I think most people would put Arkansas at the bottom, the only double-digit seed.
Fun.
What's that?
It's fun watching a story like that. And Matt Norlander, by the way, we're about to talk to him.
Yeah.
Talk to not just John Calipari, but his family, his wife and daughter, about what they've been through. Because I was listening to the podcast because he's my favorite, so I highly recommend going and finding that article.
Would you like to do this segment?
I probably could, but no, you can talk to Matt.
Matt, hello. Let's rank them. Let's start at the very top, because I feel like going into the tournament, how hot Florida was. A lot of people, even though Duke was the favorite, a lot of people had Florida #1. How do you rank them right now?
I guess I'll do the segment with Hassel. Okay, fair enough. Let's do it. No, I have Duke #1. Let's be clear as we do this off the top. I am ranking the teams based on how good I think they are in totality. This is not going to align with what I have picked in my bracket because, as you well know, a single game situation can lead, especially in the NCAA tournament, to the better team losing. I will have Duke #1 as the most talented team in the field. It also has looked the best of any team in the tournament through the first weekend. So Duke is #1, and I'll just roll off. I've got all 4 1 seeds at the top. I've got Duke #1. I've got Houston #2. I've got Auburn 3. And then I've got Florida 4. So that's my 1, 2, 3, 4 ranking the Sweet 16 teams. All the other 1 seeds got themselves into a semi-interesting situation in the first weekend. Duke, meantime, was just dominant and put itself on a tier to itself. So obviously we're going to have Duke #1.
When you look at all of these matchups, every spread is single digits. Duke has the most. I mean, they're 9.5-point favorite. Of those number 4 1 seeds that you have, 1, 2, 3, 4, beginning with Duke and ending with Florida, which one is the most vulnerable, do you think, this weekend?
Well, I do think it is Florida. I know you used the terminology this weekend. I guess I'll just look ahead to the Sweet 16 matchups in general. I did have Maryland beating Florida on Selection Sunday. Haven't changed that pick, and so I'll stick with that, in particular because Maryland does have a starting 5, the Crab 5, that averages more points per game than any starting 5 in the country. And we'll see if that lack of depth actually winds up mattering not against the Gators. I do like the matchup overall. So on face value, I would say Florida, but I do have to note that Janai Broome is only averaging 11 points in the NCAA tournament. Auburn's going to go up against the Michigan team with a couple of bigs, and there's reason to claim that Auburn might be sitting. And even though it's the #1 overall seed, then maybe Auburn's got a little bit of wariness. Houston's going to play Purdue in Purdue's backyard, by the way, and in Indianapolis, so there's something to that as well. But Florida is my pick.
So you're ranking the top 16 teams here from 1 to 16, and the top 4 are 1 seeds. The next 2 are 2 of the 2 seeds, but then you have a 3 seed ahead of a 2. Why do you like Texas Tech a little bit more right now than Michigan State?
Yeah, I go Bama 5, Tennessee 6, Texas Tech 7. Texas Tech has been a top 10 team at KenPom for 2 months now. The Red Raiders are shooting with alacrity and have really displayed a lot of talent, a lot of capability. Also have JT Toppin, borderline first-team All-American, if not an outright first-team All-American at this point. Grant McCaslin's team is my amended pick to make the Final Four. I had St. John's, didn't work out for me. My other 3 Final Four teams are still alive. So yes, I go Texas Tech right now as the better team than Michigan State, and that is an opinion backed up by advanced metrics. Hassel.
Let's go just outside the top 10 now to a team that I thought BYU was maybe the most underseeded team of the tournament at a 6 seed, the way they've been playing. You talk about metrics, and I mean, they've been a top 5 team really for the last several weeks. You have them just outside, though, at 11. Do you think they could play above that potential this weekend?
I do, and when putting this together, so I've got Maryland 9, Kentucky 10, BYU 11. These 3 teams in particular, it's just this much. It's daylight between them, barely any daylight. BYU, I'm going to be there in Newark. They play Alabama. They can absolutely beat Alabama. They've been on fire. The only time they've been tripped up in the past 6 weeks was against Houston, my national title pick, and the Big 12 tournament. So, yeah, they have been awesome. I think they are a very live possibility to make the Final Four that people really aren't talking about that much, but they have looked that good. I've got them reluctantly sitting there at 11, right behind Kentucky, which has been good, and that's interesting. It wasn't intentional, but Kentucky's coach this season was BYU's coach last season, Mark Pope, and I even have Kentucky narrowly ahead of Maryland.
I know that you know what has happened with Tim Doyle and Ole Miss. You have them ranked 15th out of the 16 remaining teams. Are you worried that they could be using you as motivation just like they're using Tim this weekend?
I mean, they're welcome to do so, but this is more reflective of just how strong this Sweet 16 field is. Ole Miss is a quality team that's capable of beating Michigan State. There's no doubt about it. I've got Arizona 13. I've got Purdue 14. I've got Ole Miss 15. And then I've got Arkansas, which I think is understandably 16th overall, although Arkansas fans are just embracing the fact that everyone thinks their team is going to lose again. We'll see. But between Malik Dia and Sean Padula, Chris Beard's got himself a really nice squad. This is one of the stronger Sweet 16 fields that we've ever seen, obviously. Just by nature, you can see my order here from 9 to 16, but by nature of the fact that we've just not had we've never had a situation in which the Sweet 16 was entirely comprised of four power conferences and all the schools coming from those leagues. So it's not a slight little miss. It's more of a reflection of where we are with the Sweet 16. Very excited to see, and I certainly hope, Hassel, I think you'd agree with me. We didn't have mid-majors break through. So if this is going to be the situation and we're looking forward to all of these matchups, then we're going to need the basketball gods to deliver. Okay, we got the Great Queen moment, and there were about 4 or 5 other games in the first 4 days of the first and second round where we had some good games, but we needed a little more. We need a little more than that, so it's time to come up big. Thursday, Friday, and specifically, we got 8 Sweet 16 games. I'm going to at least need a 50% hit rate on tremendous games and one or two more buzzer beaters. Is that too much to ask?
No, it's not too much. Let's get it. Let's get it. Matt Norlander ranking the 16 teams remaining in the Sweet 16, and a very brand new Ion College Basketball podcast just dropped. Matt Norlander and Gary Parrish previewing the Sweet 16. And we've got it on CBS and Paramount Plus Thursday and Friday. Thursday, games start just after 7. Doubleheaders both nights, Thursday and Friday.
Now, Chris, you wouldn't know this because you've been married for like 1,000 years. It's hard to be friends with your ex.
Yeah, I don't have any exes. So good.
Jimmy Butler is going to see his ex tonight. We're going to talk about that on the other side.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you.
Big news coming out of the NFL. A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
With highlights.
What a finish at the final round of play.
And in-depth analysis.
Can they three-peat? Tony Romo joins the conversation.
What can you say about this game?
When you need your sports in a snap,
we're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
Find it on CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free anywhere you are.